Welcome to the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu. Today we're taking a deep dive into Read to Lead, a comprehensive guide. And I'm really curious to see what gems we can unearth.
Oh, you're in for a treat. This deep dive explores how reading can be a strategic tool for success, not just a casual pastime. Read to Lead makes a compelling case for why anyone looking to excel, professionally or even personally, needs to embrace reading.
It's interesting because I think we often view reading as something we should do, but this book really elevates it to a must-have skill for leaders. In
Mhm.
fact, the book starts by highlighting leaders like Warren Buffett and Oprah Winfrey who attribute much of their success to being avid readers. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a powerful point. The book dives into 8 research-backed reasons why reading is so crucial for career success, and some of them are quite surprising. One that stood out to me was the link between reading, particularly fiction, and increased empathy. Have you ever noticed that?
Actually, yes. When I read a good novel, I find myself stepping into the character's shoes and really understanding their emotions. But I never connected it to career success before.
That's what's so fascinating about Read to Lead. It draws these connections between something we might consider a leisure activity and tangible professional benefits. The book explains that engaging with fictional characters allows us to practice understanding different perspectives and emotions, which translates directly to stronger empathy in real-life interactions, whether you're leading a team or negotiating a deal.
That's a great point. But let's be honest. Even if we see the value of reading, many of us struggle to find the time or motivation. I know I've definitely been guilty of that.
The book acknowledges that struggle. Read to Lead from the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu identifies 3 main culprits for our declining reading habits: digital distractions, information overload, and shrinking attention spans. Does any of that resonate with you?
Absolutely. I mean, who hasn't lost an hour scrolling through social media when they intended to be productive? It's a constant battle.
Exactly. And the book doesn't shy away from addressing those common excuses we all make for not reading, like lack of time or feeling too tired. But instead of leaving us feeling guilty, Read to Lead offers practical solutions.
So it's not about beating ourselves up. It's about finding ways to make reading work for us. I'm curious, what are some of the strategies the book suggests for overcoming these obstacles?
Well, one key idea is debunking those common reading excuses. The book tackles 8 of them head on, like the "I don't have time" excuse. It encourages us to analyze our schedules and identify hidden pockets of time we might be wasting. Those 15 minutes here, 30 minutes there, that we often fritter away.
I'm starting to see how those small increments of time could actually add up if we're intentional about it.
Exactly. Read to Lead suggests incorporating reading into existing routines. For instance, listening to audiobooks during your commute or while doing chores can be a game changer. Or even pairing reading with a relaxing ritual, like enjoying a cup of coffee or tea.
Those are really practical tips. It's about making reading fit seamlessly into our lives rather than trying to force it in.
That's the key takeaway. The book provides 9 different strategies for finding more reading time. And I think the listener will find them quite helpful. But finding the time is only part of the equation. We also need to be strategic about what we're reading.
That's a good point. I have a stack of books on my nightstand, but sometimes I feel overwhelmed by the choices. How does Read to Lead help us decide what's worth our time?
The book outlines 6 ways to identify books that align with your personal and professional goals. It emphasizes the importance of choosing books that will challenge your thinking, expand your knowledge in areas relevant to your work, and ultimately help you grow as a leader.
I love that emphasis on aligning reading with our goals. It transforms reading from a passive activity to a strategic tool for achieving what we want.
Absolutely. And that's where the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu is so helpful. It distills these key concepts from Read to Lead into an easily digestible format.
So it's like a roadmap for maximizing the impact of our reading. I'm already feeling more motivated to be more intentional about my reading choices.
You're already getting it, and that's just the beginning. The book goes on to provide a framework for actually building a solid reading plan.
Oh, tell me more about that. I'm a planner at heart, so this sounds right up my alley.
It's brilliant. Read to Lead walks you through setting clear goals for your reading, choosing a diverse range of books to keep things interesting, creating a schedule that works for your lifestyle, and even tracking your progress to stay motivated.
That structure sounds incredibly helpful, especially for someone like me who thrives on organization. It takes the guesswork out of reading and turns it into a focused pursuit.
Exactly. And that focus is crucial because, as the book emphasizes, reading isn't just about skimming pages. It's about truly absorbing the knowledge and integrating it into your life, what they call getting the book into your bloodstream.
That's a vivid image. But how do we actually achieve that level of deep understanding? Does the book offer any specific techniques?
Absolutely. Read to Lead dives into practical strategies for maximizing your comprehension and retention. It covers everything from effective note-taking to discussing the book with others, and most importantly, applying what you learn in real-world situations.
I'm starting to see how these different elements work together to create a powerful reading experience. It's not just about consuming information, it's about transforming it into action and growth.
Precisely. And that transformation is what ultimately leads to success. But Read to Lead doesn't stop there. It also introduces some fascinating techniques for increasing your reading speed.
Wait, is speed reading actually a thing? I've always been curious about that, but it sounds almost too good to be true.
It might sound like a superpower, but the book explains that speed reading is a skill you can develop with practice. It's about training your eyes to move more efficiently across the page, recognizing key words and phrases, and ultimately absorbing information at a faster rate.
That's incredible. I'm already imagining how much more I could read if I could double or even triple my reading speed. What are some of the key principles behind this technique?
The book goes into quite a bit of detail, but one core idea is eliminating subvocalization. That's the habit of silently saying the words as you read.
Oh, I definitely do that. I can almost hear the words in my head as I read.
Many of us do. But Read to Lead explains that subvocalization actually slows us down. By training ourselves to read without that inner voice, we can significantly increase our speed.
That's fascinating. It's like rewiring our brains to process information more efficiently. But I wonder if we're reading so quickly, do we still retain the same level of detail?
That's a great question, and the book addresses it directly. It emphasizes that speed reading isn't about sacrificing comprehension. It's about being strategic, recognizing that not every word on the page holds equal weight.
So it's about learning to distinguish between the essential information and the supporting details.
Exactly. Read to Lead teaches you to identify the core message, the key takeaways, without getting bogged down in every word. Think of it as a way to efficiently extract the essence of the book, allowing you to read more in less time.
That makes so much sense. And speaking of efficiency, the book also touches on a technique for reading an entire book in an hour.
Yes, that's one of the most intriguing concepts in the book. Now, it's not about skimming every other page. It's a structured process for extracting the essence of a book by focusing on key elements like chapter summaries, introductions, and bold-faced text.
So it's about strategically targeting the most information-dense parts of the book. I can see how that would be incredibly valuable, especially when time is limited.
Absolutely. Read to Lead from the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Natu provides a step-by-step process for this technique, and it's surprisingly effective. But even with speed reading, consistency is key. The book emphasizes the importance of making reading a habit, something you do automatically without even thinking about it.
That sounds ideal, but building new habits can be challenging. What are some of the book's insights on making reading a lasting habit?
Well, one key concept is making reading unchangeable.
Unchangeable. That sounds intriguing. What does that mean exactly?
It's about weaving reading so tightly into your daily routine that it becomes second nature, something you do without even questioning it.
I see. It's like brushing your teeth or having your morning coffee. It's just part of your daily rhythm.
Exactly. And the book dives into the psychology of habit formation, offering practical tips for making this happen. It emphasizes the importance of identifying cues that trigger the habit. Maybe it's always keeping a book in your bag or setting a reminder on your phone.
I love that idea. Having a visual reminder could definitely help keep reading top of mind.
And the book stresses the power of rewarding yourself for making progress. Maybe it's treating yourself to a new book after finishing a challenging one, or simply acknowledging your own growth and celebrating those small wins.
Those rewards are important. They create positive associations with reading, making us more likely to stick with it, even when we're tempted to skip a session.
Exactly. And all of this, finding the time, choosing the right books, mastering speed reading techniques, building a lasting habit, leads to the ultimate goal of Read to Lead, which
That's
is
becoming a better leader, right?
you got it. And not just in a professional context. The book emphasizes that leadership extends to all areas of our lives.
So it's about leading ourselves, our families, our communities. I love how the book expands the definition of leadership.
It's about using the knowledge we gain through reading to make a positive impact on the world, no matter how big or small.
That's a powerful message. And it brings us back to that core idea of the knowledge action cycle that Read to Lead highlights.
Yes, the book emphasizes that reading isn't just about accumulating information. It's about using that knowledge to take action, to make informed decisions, to drive positive change.
It's about turning knowledge into power, and using that power to create a better future. That's a message I think we can all get behind. But I'm curious to explore this knowledge action cycle in more detail. Can you share an example of how this plays out in a real-world scenario?
Absolutely. Let's consider someone who's leading a team and facing a challenging situation. They could read a book on conflict resolution, learn effective communication strategies, and then apply those strategies to navigate the conflict successfully. That's a perfect example of how reading fuels action, which then leads to positive outcomes.
That's a great illustration. I can see how this cycle can be applied to any area of life, whether it's
Yeah.
professional, personal, or even societal.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of reading. It equips us with the knowledge and inspiration to tackle any challenge we face. But I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this concept of the knowledge action cycle? How do you see it playing out in your own life?
It's definitely something I'm more aware of now. I think I often get caught up in the consumption phase of reading, enjoying the process of learning, but then I don't always take that next step of applying the knowledge.
That's a common trap we can fall into. But Read to Lead encourages us to view reading as a catalyst for action, as a springboard for growth and change.
That's a great reminder. And it makes me think about another point you mentioned earlier, the connection between reading and improved decision making. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. The book highlights studies showing that reading exposes us to a wider range of perspectives and ways of thinking, which ultimately strengthens our critical thinking skills. And those critical thinking skills are essential for making sound decisions, especially in complex or high-pressure situations.
It's like building a mental muscle for navigating challenges. The more we read, the more we expand our understanding of different viewpoints and approaches, which then equips us to make better choices.
Exactly. Read to Lead, from the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu, emphasizes that reading isn't just about acquiring knowledge. It's about developing the mental agility to apply that knowledge effectively.
That's a powerful insight. It's not just about what we know, it's about how we use that knowledge to navigate the world around us. And that makes me think about another surprising benefit of reading that the book highlighted, the impact on stress levels.
Oh, absolutely. Read to Lead explains that reading can actually lower our stress levels, and there's scientific evidence to support this. It's like a mini vacation for your mind. When we immerse ourselves in a good book, we escape from our daily worries and allow our minds to relax and recharge.
I've definitely experienced that.
Yeah.
There's something so soothing about getting lost in a good story. It's almost like a form of meditation.
Exactly. And the book points out that reduced stress leads to improved focus, better sleep, and even a stronger immune system. Those are benefits that extend far beyond the workplace.
It's fascinating how something as simple as reading can have such a profound impact on our well-being, both mentally and physically. But let's be realistic. Even with all these benefits, life can get hectic. Work deadlines, family commitments, social events, it's easy to let reading slip down the priority list.
You're absolutely right. But Read to Lead addresses this head on. It emphasizes that if we truly value reading, we need to treat it as a non-negotiable, like a doctor's appointment or a work meeting. It's about scheduling dedicated reading time and sticking to it, even when life throws curveballs.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's about being proactive and making a conscious decision to prioritize reading, rather than just hoping to squeeze it in when we have a spare moment.
Exactly. The book even suggests creating a dedicated reading space in your home or office, a quiet corner where you can escape distractions, and fully immerse yourself in a good book.
That's a great idea. It's about creating an environment that signals to your brain, okay, it's time to focus and engage with this material.
You got it. And the book also recommends turning off notifications on your phone and computer during your reading time to minimize those digital distractions we talked about earlier.
It's about creating boundaries and protecting that sacred reading time. I love that.
It's about being intentional with your time and energy. And that intentionality extends to choosing the books you read. Read to Lead encourages us to be thoughtful about our reading selections, to choose books that align with our goals and challenge our thinking.
That's where those 6 strategies for selecting worthwhile books come in handy.
Exactly. It's not just about picking up the latest bestseller or whatever everyone else is reading. It's about being selective and choosing books that will truly nourish your mind and contribute to your growth.
So it's about curating a reading list that's tailored to our individual needs and aspirations. I love that concept.
It's like creating a personalized learning journey, choosing books that will guide you toward your desired destination. And that brings us back to the concept of the reading plan we touched on earlier. Read to Lead walks us through a step-by-step process for creating a plan that's both structured and flexible.
Yes, I'm really intrigued by that. I think having a plan would make me feel more focused and motivated. Can you break down those steps for us?
Of course. The first step is setting SMART goals.
Ah, SMART goals. I've heard of those, but I could use a refresher.
Hmm.
What does the acronym stand for again?
It stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Basically, it's about setting goals that are clear, trackable, and aligned with your overall objectives.
So instead of just saying, I want to read more, a SMART goal might be, I want to read one business book per month that focuses on leadership skills.
Exactly. By making your goals specific and measurable, you're much more likely to achieve them. And that sense of accomplishment fuels motivation, which keeps the reading momentum going.
That makes perfect sense. So setting SMART goals is the first step. What's next?
The next step is choosing books that are diverse and relevant to your goals.
Yes, we talked about that earlier. It's about creating that balanced diet for your brain, right?
Exactly. It's about mixing it up, reading books from different genres, exploring new topics, and expanding your horizon.
I love that. It's about staying curious and open to new ideas, which I think is essential for growth, both personally and professionally.
Absolutely. And the third step in building a reading plan is creating a schedule that works for your lifestyle.
So it's about being realistic and finding pockets of time that you can consistently dedicate to reading.
Precisely. Read to Lead emphasizes that consistency is key. It's better to read for 15 minutes every day than to try to cram in a whole book on the weekend.
That's a great point. It's about building a sustainable habit, something that fits seamlessly into your life rather than feeling like a chore.
Exactly. And finally, the fourth step is tracking your progress.
Yes, I can see how tracking progress would be incredibly motivating. It's like having a visual reminder of how far you've come.
Absolutely. You can track your progress in a simple notebook, a spreadsheet, or even using a dedicated reading app. Whatever method works for you, the key is to make it a regular practice.
So it's about holding ourselves accountable and celebrating those small wins along the way. I love that. It's like giving ourselves a pat on the back for sticking with our reading goals.
Exactly. And all of this, setting SMART goals, choosing diverse books, creating a schedule, and tracking progress sets the stage for a truly transformative reading experience.
It's about approaching reading with intention and purpose, rather than just passively flipping pages.
You got it. But Read to Lead, from the 1-Hour Guide by Anil Nathu, doesn't just focus on the mechanics of reading. It also delves into the deeper aspects of engagement and understanding.
You mentioned earlier this idea of getting the book into your bloodstream. I'm curious to learn more about that.
It's about moving beyond simply reading the words on the page and truly internalizing the knowledge, making it a part of your thinking and behavior. And the book offers some powerful techniques for achieving this.
I'm all ears. Tell me everything.
One of the most effective techniques is active note-taking.
I've always been a big believer in note-taking. It helps me focus and retain information. But what makes note-taking active?
It's about engaging with the material, not just passively copying down sentences. Read to Lead encourages us to summarize key points in our own words, jot down questions that arise, and highlight passages that resonate with us.
It's about turning reading into a dialogue.
Right.
Like having a conversation with the author and challenging their idea.
Exactly. It's about making the knowledge your own, rather than simply memorizing someone else's words.
That makes so much sense. And it makes me think about another technique you mentioned earlier, discussing the book with others.
Yes. Talking about what you're reading, whether with a friend, a colleague, or a book club, forces you to articulate your understanding, which deepens your comprehension and helps you retain the information.
It's like that saying, the best way to learn is to teach. When we have to explain something to someone else, we're forced to clarify it in our own minds.
You got it. And Read to Lead emphasizes the power of this social aspect of learning. It encourages us to create book clubs, join online forums, or even just have casual conversations about the books we're reading.
I love that. It's about building a community around reading and learning from each other's insights.
Exactly. And that sense of community can be incredibly motivating and inspiring. But ultimately, the most powerful way to get a book into your bloodstream is through application.
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's about taking the knowledge we gain through reading and putting it to work in the real world.
Precisely. Read to Lead challenges us to ask ourselves, how can I apply this knowledge to my work, my relationships, my life? It's about turning theory into practice, experimenting with new ideas and seeing what works.
Because reading without action is like planting a seed without watering it. It might have potential, but it won't grow and flourish.
That's a beautiful analogy, and it perfectly captures the essence of Read to Lead. It's about harnessing the power of reading to fuel our growth, achieve our goals, and make a positive impact on the world.
It's inspiring to think about reading as a catalyst for change, both for ourselves and for those around us. But I'm curious, what about those of us who struggle with speed reading or find it hard to focus for long periods? Does the book offer any advice for overcoming those challenges?
Absolutely. Read to Lead acknowledges that speed reading isn't for everyone, and it offers alternative techniques for improving reading efficiency. For example, it suggests skimming for key points, using a finger or pen to guide your eyes, and breaking down long chapters into smaller chunks.
Those are helpful tips. It's about finding strategies that work for your individual reading style and preferences.
Exactly. And the book also emphasizes the importance of creating a conducive reading environment, minimizing distractions and taking breaks when needed. To avoid mental fatigue,
It's about being kind to yourself and setting realistic expectations, rather than trying to force yourself to read for hours on end.
you got it. And if you're struggling with focus, the book recommends practicing mindfulness techniques, like focusing on your breath or noticing the sensations in your body, to help calm your mind and bring your attention back to the present moment.
I love that. It's about incorporating mindfulness into the reading experience itself.
Exactly. And that brings us back to this idea of making reading a habit, something you do regularly without even thinking about it.
Yes, we talked about the concept of making reading unchangeable. I'm really intrigued by that.
It's about weaving reading so tightly into your daily routine that it becomes second nature, something you do without even questioning it.
I see. It's like brushing your teeth or having your morning coffees. It's just part of your daily rhythm.
Exactly. And the book dives into the psychology of habit formation, offering practical tips for making this happen. It emphasizes the importance of identifying cues that trigger the habit. Maybe it's always keeping a book in your bag or setting a reminder on your phone.
I love that idea. Having a visual reminder could definitely help keep reading top of mind.
And the book stresses the power of rewarding yourself for making progress. Maybe it's treating yourself to a new book after finishing a challenging one, or simply acknowledging your own growth and celebrating those small wins.
Those rewards are important. They create positive associations with reading, making us more likely to stick with it even when we're tempted to skip a session.
Exactly. And all of this, finding the time, choosing the right books, mastering speed reading techniques, building a lasting habit leads to the ultimate goal of Read to Lead, from the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu.
Which is becoming a better leader, right? But I'm curious, what does that look like in practice? How does reading translate into effective leadership?
That's a great question. Read to Lead highlights the fact that leadership isn't just about holding a formal position of authority. It's about influencing, inspiring, and empowering others to achieve a common goal.
So it's about vision communication
Yeah.
and the ability to motivate and guide others.
Exactly. And Read to Lead argues that reading plays a crucial role in developing these leadership qualities.
I can see that. Through reading, we expose ourselves to different leadership styles, learn effective communication techniques, and gain insights into human behavior and motivation.
Precisely. The book emphasizes that the more we read, the more we expand our understanding of what it means to be an effective leader, both in the workplace and in life.
It's about learning from the experiences and wisdom of others, both those who have succeeded and those who have faced challenges.
Exactly. Read to Lead encourages us to study the biographies of great leaders, analyze their decision-making processes, and learn from their successes and failures.
It's about turning reading into a form of mentorship, learning from the best, and applying those lessons to our own leadership journey.
You got it. And the book goes beyond just examining individual leaders. It also explores different leadership styles and theories, providing a framework for understanding the complexities of leadership in various contexts.
So it's about developing a well-rounded understanding of leadership, drawing from a variety of sources and perspectives.
Absolutely. Read to Lead, from the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu, emphasizes that leadership is a multifaceted skill that requires constant learning and growth. It's not something we achieve overnight. It's a journey of continuous development.
And reading is the fuel for that journey. Yeah.
Exactly. The more we read, the more we equip ourselves with the knowledge, skills, and inspiration to become effective and impactful leaders.
It's empowering to think about reading as a tool for leadership development.
It is, and Read to Lead provides a roadmap for harnessing that power, guiding us on a path to becoming the best leaders we can be.
But I imagine leadership isn't always smooth sailing. There must be challenges and setbacks along the way.
Absolutely. Leadership is full of complexities and challenges, but Read to Lead argues that reading can help us navigate those challenges more effectively.
How so?
Well, the book emphasizes the importance of developing emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage our own emotions and the emotions of others.
And reading can help us develop emotional intelligence.
It can. Through reading, we gain insights into human psychology, learn about different communication styles, and develop empathy by stepping into the shoes of characters in stories.
I see. It's like a form of virtual practice for dealing with real-life situations.
Exactly. And Read to Lead highlights the importance of seeking out books that challenge our thinking, expose us to different perspectives, and help us develop a deeper understanding of human nature.
That makes sense. The more we understand ourselves and others,
hmm
the better equipped we are to lead effectively.
Absolutely. And Read to Lead provides a framework for incorporating these insights into our leadership approach. It's about becoming more self-aware, more empathetic, and more skilled at navigating the complexities of human interaction.
That's a powerful concept. But I'm curious, does Read to Lead offer any specific advice for dealing with difficult situations, like conflict resolution or managing change?
It does. The book delves into practical strategies for handling these common leadership challenges. It emphasizes the importance of clear communication, active listening, and finding win-win solutions.
Those are essential skills for any leader, and I can see how reading can help us develop those skills.
Exactly. Read to Lead from the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu encourages us to view reading as a continuous learning process, a way to constantly upgrade our leadership toolkit and adapt to new challenges.
It's about becoming lifelong learners, always seeking out new knowledge and insights to enhance our leadership effectiveness.
You got it. And that's ultimately what sets great leaders apart. They're committed to their own growth and development, and they use reading as a powerful tool to achieve their goals.
It's inspiring to think about reading as a catalyst for leadership excellence. But I wonder, does Read to Lead address the ethical dimensions of leadership?
Absolutely. The book emphasizes the importance of leading with integrity, making ethical decisions, and building trust with followers. It explores different ethical frameworks and encourages us to reflect on our own values and principles.
So it's not just about achieving results, it's about doing so in a way that's aligned with our core values.
Exactly. Read to Lead highlights the fact that ethical leadership is essential for long-term success and sustainability. It's about building a culture of trust and respect, where people feel valued and empowered.
That's a powerful message. It's about leading with both competence and character.
You got it. And Read to Lead provides a framework for integrating ethical considerations into our leadership approach.
That's incredibly valuable. It's about understanding that leadership is not just about power and influence. It's about responsibility and service.
You've hit the nail on the head. Read to Lead encourages us to view leadership as a privilege and an opportunity to make a positive impact on the world.
That's a truly inspiring perspective. But I'm curious, does Read to Lead offer any specific guidance on how to cultivate a leadership mindset? That inner drive to inspire and empower others?
It does. The book emphasizes the importance of developing a growth mindset, the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning.
Ah, the growth mindset. I've heard so much about that concept.
It's a powerful idea. Read to Lead explains that a growth mindset is essential for leaders because it fuels a passion for continuous learning, a willingness to embrace challenges, and a resilience in the face of setbacks.
It's about viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than roadblocks to success.
Exactly. And Read to Lead suggests that reading can help us cultivate a growth mindset by exposing us to new ideas, challenging our assumptions, and inspiring us to step outside of our comfort zones.
I can see that. Every book we read is an opportunity to expand our horizons and challenge our perspectives.
You got it. Read to Lead from the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu encourages us to embrace the unknown, to be curious, to constantly seek out new knowledge and experiences that will help us grow as leaders.
It's about cultivating a sense of wonder and a thirst for learning that will propel us forward on our leadership journey.
Exactly. And that journey is one of continuous evolution. Read to Lead emphasizes that leadership development is a lifelong pursuit, a process of constant refinement and growth.
It's not about reaching a destination. It's about embracing the journey.
Beautifully said. And Read to Lead provides a roadmap for navigating that journey, guiding us toward becoming the most effective and impactful leaders we can be.
This has been an incredibly insightful conversation. Read to Lead seems like an invaluable resource for anyone looking to enhance their leadership skills and make a positive impact on the world.
I completely agree. And remember, these are just highlights from Read to Lead. I encourage our listeners to delve into the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu for a more in-depth exploration of these concepts.
Yes, the 1 Hour Guide is such a valuable resource for distilling key insights from powerful books like Read to Lead. But I'm curious, before we wrap up, are there any final takeaways from Read to Lead that you'd like to share with our listeners? Any parting words of wisdom that have stuck with you?
There are so many, but one that really resonated with me is the importance of leading by example.
Oh, that's a powerful one. Actions speak louder than words, as they say.
Exactly. Read to Lead emphasizes that true leadership is not about telling others what to do. It's about embodying the values and behaviors we want to see in others.
It's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
You got it. And Read to Lead reminds us that our actions have a ripple effect, influencing those around us and shaping the culture of our teams, organizations, and communities.
It's a reminder that leadership is not just a position or a title. It's a way of being in the world.
Exactly. And Read to Lead empowers us to embrace that way of being, to step into our leadership roles with confidence, integrity, and a deep commitment to making a positive difference.
This has been an incredibly inspiring conversation. I'm already feeling motivated to grab a book dive in and apply these powerful insights to my own life and work.
That's fantastic. And remember, Read to Lead from the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu is just the beginning. The world of reading is vast and full of possibilities. Embrace it, explore it, and let it guide you on your leadership journey.
Thank you for joining us today. Visit the 1 Hour Guide website for more business insights by Anil Nathu.